À chaque citoyen de la France, je dis simplement et vraiment que nous sommes de tout cœur avec vous. This was a horrible, horrible distortion of human behavior to just randomly tear apart the lives of young people innocently going about their social intercourse. It is really the mark of the ripping out of civility in our modern world, in our human family, that such events can occur. And, you know, France is close to my heart. I had the happiest of exchange experiences when I was a teenager with the family with whom I kept in touch until 2 years ago when the parents died in their 90s. Again, when I was a student at college, I worked as a stagiaire in a bank. Société Générale. Interesting name for a bank. Société Générale at the Place de l'Opéra. And last 1st of November, All Saints' Day, I was at a memorial service just outside Paris on the Oise River, where one of the bravest modern women of our times, Mariam Rajavi, the president-elect of the exiled opposition to the tyrannical regime led by Khamenei and the mullahs in Iran, has her headquarters to keep alive the flame of hope for the Iranian people, 85 million people. On the 29th of October, a Thursday, at about 5 o'clock our time, a barrage of 64 missiles were launched against Camp Liberty, ironical, that name, where 23 people were slaughtered. Innocent civilians compounded in that small area, a total of 2,500 people approximately, who were supposed to be under the protection of the United Nations, referred to earlier, and the United States, under written guarantee that they had international refugee status before they moved on to safer places. And there was a memorial service in Paris, and I was honoured to be there, also with Professor Alejo Vidal-Quadras, who was the Vice President of the European Parliament for 14 years until last year. He's now President of the Président du Comité International pour l'Application de la Justice, by Haytham Maleh, an 85-year-old, brave, courageous lawyer from Syria, from Damascus, who's been exiled for the last 40 years or so as he conducts all his energies and efforts in the freedom of his country, Syria, who explained to me that the Iranian regime, the tyrannical one today, has 60,000 troops in Syria supporting Assad. There are about 250 million people between Iraq, between Syria, between Iran, between Palestine, in that part of the world, who are suffering, as Deputy Wallace said, in a gentle but a powerful way. And it's wrong. We're part of the human family. And where we have civility, we have courtesy, we've graciousness. But if leaders of so-called developed countries remain remote and stand back and don't actually get to know the people, Haytham Maleh told me that there are 24 million people in Syria. 5 million we know about because they're bursting out as refugees. 14 million within the 24 are homeless. We talk about our homeless crisis. Homeless. Because tyrants have ruled that part of the world. And Mariam Rajavi is the modern Mahatma Gandhi of that part of the world. And she's a 10-principle plan which would eliminate fundamentalism, bring in democracy, have respect for human rights, women's rights.
Thank you, Deputy.
All these things. And I would entreat the members here to Google that name and look at the connections and the links, for instance, to the anthem of the survivors. About 15 survivors composed a song within 12 hours of that massacre. We didn't even hear about it on the news. And they composed that song. It is as powerful as Riverdance was when it exploded onto the stage of the Eurovision. And you listen to that YouTube song and you see the spirit of a nation that is prepared to sacrifice for liberty, the true liberty. Not the liberty that, we think we can get from slugging it out with armaments and money. No, the liberty of the soul, of the mind, of respect, of human rights.
Thank you, Deputy.
And I leave you with those thoughts. But do make that link and do look it up. Maryam, M-A-R-Y-A-M, Rajavi, R-A-J-A-V-I.
Thank you.
Betancourt, Ingrid Betancourt was at that memorial service. It was touching. 23 doves, white doves, released into the sky. That's the spirit, the human spirit, that we should
now call Deputy Fergus O'Dowd.